Perhaps one of the most requested topics by channel users in the comment section of the videos is information about Hazara tribe. Where did they come from and what troubles befell them? Is all about the events of Hazara people that we want to talk about in this video. About where the Hazara people came from and which human race they are related to, whether they were in Afghanistan from long time ago or whether they came later. Many words and possibilities have been said. Some historians say that the Hazaras are the remnants of Genghis Khan's Mongol army, and some others say that they were in Afghanistan from very beginning and they are part of primitive and native tribes in that region. In fact, it's really difficult to distinguish which group is right and which group is based on some issues. In this reason, we want to examine the historical course and events of Hazara people. We choose the book by the name of The Research in the History of Hazaras, written by Haj Kazim Yazdani. Because the author himself is a Hazara, there may be a doubt that he wrote this material for own benefit, and it's not reliable. In fact, the doubt is reasonable. But in this book, the author has carefully examined the positive and negative opinions and has given his reasons for rejecting or confirming the rest of opinions. Please, if you know the source that violates what we are trying to say, let us know and correct the content. So, let's go to find the answer for our question that who are Hazaras in Afghanistan? Anthropologists and historians presented different opinions about the origin of Hazaras. That we can divide all these theories into three categories. 1. Hazaras are indigenous to the region and many researchers supported this theory. 2. The Hazaras are the remnants of the Mongol army. 3. Hazaras an amalgamation of different races. I saw the Hazaras who say that we are the remnants of Genghis Khan's Mongol army. We are brave and courageous. On the other hand, I saw the Hazaras who get upset if you say that you are the remnants of Mongol army. And they say that we are the native people of the region. It was later that the Mongols came to these areas. It means that this confusion exists even among the Hazaras. And unfortunately, many of them intend to provoke different ethnic groups towards each other with their words and their reactions, which we don't want to address at the moment. For the first time, the French researcher J.P. Fourier presented this theory in 19th century. He believed that the Hazaras lived in present-day Afghanistan since the time of Alexander the Great. And to prove his point, he uses the description of the wars of that time based on Greek writings, Concius Curtius. And he considers the insulted people at that time to be the ancestors of today's Hazaras. Later in 20th century, the Afghan researchers such as Abdulhai Habibi confirmed this theory and with the help of a number of linguistic evidences, he proves the theory of indigenousness of Hazaras. For example, Habibi said that the Hazara ancestors existed before the occupation of Mongols. And for proving this, he takes help from the writings of famous Chinese explorer He Van Tesung, who went to India in 644 AD. In his writings, this Chinese explorer mentions a region called Hosala, and at the same time Ptolemy mentions a land called Ozala. According to Habibi, Hosala and Ozala refer to the same place. One of is the Chinese name and the second is Greek. So, with this explanation, the name of Hazara originates before the Mongols and has nothing to do with the Mongols era. But still, Habibi uses the writings of Tesung. In one of his writings, when Tesung went to the center of Afghanistan with one of the kings to collect the taxes, he encountered with a stubborn people that who looked like Chinese. But why is this issue so important? The fact that their appearance was like Chinese, why should it be so important that Habibi wants to take advantage from this point? In fact, the Hazara people are slightly different from the rest Afghan people in terms of their physical characteristics. Unlike most of the Afghan people, they have almond eyes, and this feature shows that they are more like yellow race. There are many stories about these people because of their appearance. You can probably recognize all the Hazaras by their looks, whether they are Hazara or not. In the pictures, you can see the physical appearance of the Hazaras who are of yellow race. Besides their appearance, they have also other characteristics. The language of the Hazaras is Farsi and their religion is Shia. However, there are also Sunni Hazaras. In fact, the Farsi language, the Shia religion, and the yellow race are the key points which we can define the Hazaras with. By the way, so far we examined the theory that the Hazaras are the native people to the center of Afghanistan, and there were much more than the Mongols. In continuation of this theory, Habibi says that the word Hazara, which is an Aryan word, means cheerful, and the Mongol word Ming doesn't mean Hazara.